it's Amanda. The practice that I'm offering up today is designed for all of my running friends. I myself run a few times a week, but I have lots of friends and loved ones who are pretty avid runners or hikers who walk a lot. So during this practice, we're really going to try to get into the whole body in all directions, because running is really like a forward and back exercise. Your legs are going forward and back, your hips are flexing and extending, your knees are flexing and extending. So we're going to find some of that repetition in this practice, but also go to the left and right and up and down and just really be voluminous in our body. And we'll start with some core work to light it up and get deep into the strength of our belly before we build the poses. So go ahead and lie down on your back. Plant your feet so they're right under your knees. And make a diamond with your hand and put that diamond on your low belly. And take a few breaths in and out through your nose and feel the low belly really pushing up into your hands as you inhale. And then as you exhale, pull your low belly away from your hands. And then inhale, fill the belly up. So you soften all those abdominal muscles. And then exhale, press all the breath out and pull your low belly down toward the ground, away from your hands, and up toward your sternum. Take one more breath like that. And then you can keep your hands here or just lay them by your side. As you inhale, you're going to lift your ribs up, but keep your sit bones down and your shoulders down. And then as you exhale, press your whole back into the ground. So you'll really scoop your belly. Your tailbone might lift a little bit. And then inhale, untuck and lift your ribs. And then exhale, knit it all together. Use the deep strength to push especially your low back into the ground. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, open up the ribs. Stick your sit bones down. And then exhale, smush your low back into the ground. Scoop your belly. Inhale. And exhale. And once more. And then we'll add on to it. So arms by your sides now, if they weren't already. And then inhale, just lift your ribs. Find the back bend in your whole spine. And then exhale, smush your whole back down. And then lift your tailbone up. So your butt lifts up just a little bit. And then as you inhale, press into your feet and lift your hips the rest of the way. And then exhale, roll down your spine. So slow. It might even be for multiple breaths, so that you feel every single vertebrae reaching down. And the hardest is the low back. Really engage your low belly muscles to roll and unfurl the last set of vertebrae down. And then inhale, open back up your ribs. And then exhale, smush your whole spine down. And just tuck your tail under. And then press into your feet. Lift your hips up. Big breath in. Root down through your big toe ball mounds. And then slow exhale, like you're unfurling a string of pearls onto the floor. Each vertebrae. Use your low belly, especially at the bottom. And then inhale, open your ribs. Exhale, smush your back down. Just hover your tail. Scoop your belly. Root into your feet. Inhale, lift up, bridge pose. Exhale, roll down. Use the strength of your belly to unfurl your lumbar spine to the ground. And then inhale, open up your ribs. Exhale, flatten it out, tuck your tail. Find that low belly strength, and then inhale, lift up into bridge pose. Exhale, slowly lower down. Scoop your belly all the way to the bottom. And one more. Inhale, lift your ribs. Exhale, flatten out your spine. Scoop your tail. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll it down. Okay, we'll do it one more time and stay up. So inhale, lift your ribs up. Exhale, gather it all in as you press yourself into the ground. Hover your tail. Inhale, lift your ribs up. Lift your hips up and stay. Okay, so you can keep your hands on the ground here, palms down. You can bend your elbows and dig your elbow tips into the ground, or interlock your hands underneath you and scoot your shoulders a little closer together. And we'll be here for a few breaths and we'll really find our feet. So root down into the center of both heels, and then travel up and root plug into the big toe ball mounds. Go around the top of your foot and find the outer edge of your pinky sides, and then travel up to the pinky toe ball mound. Go into the center of your foot and feel it lifting up into you, and then plug into the inner heel. Travel up the arch, and then go around and plug into the outer heel. And then find the middle toe knuckles and reach forward. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, let it all go. All right, bend your knees and stack your knees right over your hips. Flex your feet. If you like, you can put a block between your knees, or you can just keep your legs together. Bring your hands to your legs, and you're going to create a little bracket with your arms. So your arms are going to be straight. Push your hands into your thighs and pull your thighs into your hands. Keep pressing your low back into the ground and scoop your low belly in and up. So you can work as hard as you choose here. Nobody can see what's actually happening inside, but you might feel like you're shaking, really tapping into the transverse abdominal muscles, those deep, deep core muscles that stabilize us. And one more breath. And then if you have a block, take it out. Reach your arms by your side. So our work for this last little set of core work is to keep this knitting, the low belly pressing down and the low back pressing down, and your ribs hugging in. So you can do it in stages. Stage one is take a breath in, and then exhale, tap your right heel to the ground by keeping all of this stable. And then inhale, lift your right knee back up, and exhale, tap your left heel back down. And then you keep doing it that way, and you move slow so that your core is working against the instability of your leg. If you want to take it a step further, then as you reach your right heel down, you reach your left arm over your head. So you're adding more instability, which means more work for your core. And we'll just keep doing that for a few more rounds. Keep trying to keep yourself together. Pull yourself together. Hold yourself together as you extend, as you expand, so that you expand from your center. You go in all directions from your center. You come back to your center from all directions. Let's do one more each side. Good, and then hug your knees in. Let's find happy baby pose. Hold onto your feet. Get your thighs really close to you. And then do two things at once. Pull your feet down with your hands as you push your feet up into your hands. And take a few breaths across your low back, across your sacrum. One more breath. And then you can hug your knees in. And you can rock forward and back a few times, massaging along those muscles of your spine. And we'll cross our ankles and come into a tabletop. And so in your tabletop, you'll measure your hands. So turn your fingers to face one another. And then from the center of your heel of your hand, spin your fingers forward. And then find the tops of your feet, spread across all of your toenails, and keep that work the whole time. Inhale, round your back. And then exhale, really pull your sit bones apart. Inhale, round. Exhale, pull your sit bones apart. 3 more. Find all of your toenails. Root down through the pointer finger mound of your hand. Last one. And then come back to neutral here. We're going to sit back on 1 or 2 blocks. And you might stack them up like I have, or maybe even a little higher, depending on what you need. We'll open up the front of the thigh again. Okay, so you'll take your left foot and bring it in front so it's in line with your right knee. And again, the higher you are, the less intense it's going to be. So you can sit on 1 block here and it might open up a little more. If you still don't feel much, you can sit all the way on the ground into half hero's pose. So we'll start with the back bend. You'll take your hands behind you. Come under your fingertips, put a little bend in your elbows, and puff your chest up. Root down into the big toe ball mound of your left foot and find all of the toenails of your right foot. You can stay like this or plant your palms and then lift your hips up off the block and really find all of your right toenails rooting down and breathe up the right thigh. 1 more breath. And then sit yourself back down, sit back up. And so we'll find a twist, an inside or an open twist. So you'll take your left elbow to your left knee, your right hand to your sacrum. Press your left knee into your left elbow, and then your elbow back into your knee to help you turn. Grow tall as if you were lifting your lungs up out of your pelvis, and twist around the back bend. One more breath. And then let that go. And we'll switch. Bend your left knee. Bring your right leg forward. And find the root of your right big toe ball mound and spread across all of your left toenails. And come onto your fingertips and first find a back bend by puffing up your chest, widening your collarbones, digging your sit bones into the ground, into the block, whatever you're sitting on. It could be a book, it could be a chair. And then if you like to go further, plant your hands. They can face forward or backwards, just a different stretch for your wrist. And then lift your hips up. Find all of your left toenails. Pull your left hip up. And 1 more breath. And then sit yourself back down. Okay, bring both shins to the ground. You can come forward, move the block out of the way, and come into a plank pose. So in your plank pose, we're going to find the same action that we started with on our back. So as you inhale, untuck your tailbone and look forward. And then as you exhale, just curl your tailbone under, but keep looking forward. Inhale, untuck your tail. And then exhale, carve it under and scoop your low belly. Good, 3 more. Untuck. Exhale, curl it under. Last 2. with your breath. Last one. And then lower all the way to the ground. Untuck your toes, find all your toenails once again, and then pull yourself forward and up into a Cobra Pose. Maybe a low Cobra. Pull, pull, pull. Feel the palms of your hands suctioning down. Grip with your little finger pads and widen your collarbones to lengthen your torso. One more breath here. And then release yourself all the way to the ground. Stack your hands one on top of the other, bend your knees, and just windshield wiper your feet left and right. And then come back to stillness, release your legs down again. Bring your hands back next to you, and once again, pull yourself forward into a Cobra Pose. And then lift your legs and lift your hands. Flip your palms face up, make a fist, and then drive your elbows back as you pull your lungs forward. Can you try and lift your navel off the ground? Take one more breath, reach through the back of your neck so it doesn't get too cranked. Reach it long, pull your lungs forward. And then open your palms, turn them down, and rock it up to a bigger Cobra Pose. Keep your navel drawing in and up and your elbows bending backward. When you lock out, we round and our lungs go to the back of us. Bring them to the front of you by bending your elbows and lifting your navel. And then press it back to table, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So in your down dog, we'll find a measure. Come into plank pose, stack your wrists under your shoulders, your heels over the balls of your feet. And then to find down dog, you bend the knees. This may seem counterintuitive, but we want to get out of our low back and into the thighs. And to do that, we need to tilt the pelvis. So bend your knees and really get in your legs. And then from the back of your knee, flick your tail up to the sky. I promise you, you will feel things in your legs. So bend your knees forward and flick your tail up to the sky. As if you were spreading butter up your thigh from the crease of your knee to your sit bones. Take one more breath here. And then look forward and lunge your right foot forward. Lower your left knee to the ground. Put your right armpit on your knee, your right shin at 90 with the ground. Keep all this contact. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift it back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. 3 more. Last one. And then come forward. Hug your inner legs together so you can stay on the ball of your left foot or find your toenails. If you're on your toenails, spread across all of them and then find your right big toe mound. Reach your arms forward and up, rise up. And then widen your left sit bone to the left and your right sit bone to the right. But root down to your big toe ball mound, your left toenail. Reach up, up, up. Good, and then bring your hands back to the ground. Plant your left hand. Bring your right hand to your right knee and start to twist. Press it down so you make a stack of knee over heel. And then if you like, you can reach the arm over your head or straight up to the sky. Feel that you are lifting off of your left arm, growing your collarbones apart. And then release your right hand down. You're going to spin your left toes over toward the right, just at an angle. And bring your right hand inside of your right foot. Take your left hand to your sacrum. And notice all this contact that I have between my legs. Look forward. Grow out of your hips. And then use your right knee in your right shoulder to turn you open. Maybe your left arm reaches to the sky. Maybe it reaches over your head. Keep hugging your left hip over to the left, your right hip back to the right. One more breath. And then release your hands to the ground. You're going to step your left foot outside of your right foot and sit down into Yogi Squat. And so our tendency here is the same as our tendency everywhere. It's often to round, to tuck under. So find every part of your foot and flick your tail back. And use that to bring your lungs forward. It's more work, but it's valuable. Push into the whole foot, rise to stand, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart, toe heel your feet, hips width distance apart. Reach your arms to the sky, interlock your hands and flip them up. Inhale, up and over to the left. Come back to center, up and over to the right. Come back to center. And take a big breath in, reach up with your lungs, and then bend your knees and sit down into chair pose. And lift your navel up, and then exhale, fold in half. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Plant your hands, step your left foot back. Sweep your right leg up and back behind you, bend your left knee. And then hug your right knee into your nose. Lower your right shin to the ground and look forward. As you exhale, round your back, hug your thigh to your chest. Inhale, lower your shin, look forward. Exhale, round your back, hug your thigh to your chest. Get 3 more. Soften as you inhale, like a cow pose. Exhale, scoop it in and up. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Good. Sweep your right leg back. Stack your hip, bend your knee. Feel free to move that right hip all around in big circles. Maybe switch direction. And then come back to downward facing dog. Shift forward into plank to find your measure. And then bend your knees to go back. Bend your knees and reach your sit bones up, 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 away from the bend in your knees. And look forward, step your left foot forward. Lower your right knee to the ground. Find your left knee in your armpit. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift it back. So keep rocking it out, forward and back. But keep the boundary, the contact. So we create this boundary so we go new places. And this is helping us to get into the belly of the hamstring, into the joint of the hip. One more. And then come forward. Either keep your toes tucked or untuck them back there. Find your left big toe ball mound. Find all across your right foot, whether it's the ball or the toenails. And then rise up. Keep hugging your inner legs together as you widen your right hip to the right and your left hip to the left. Grow out of yourself. Get taller, bigger. One more breath. And release your hands to the ground. Plant your right hand, bring your left hand to your knee, and start your twist there. And then you can reach your left arm up. Lift off of your right armpit, off of your right shoulder. Maybe even flick your tail behind you and see if you can get more twist from flicking your tail rather than tucking it under. Take one more breath in, maybe reach the arm over your head. And then release your left hand inside of your foot. Turn your right toes to the left. Keep all this contact here, a little bend in your left elbow. Bring your right hand to your sacrum. Grow yourself forward. Use your left knee in your shoulder to twist. And as you do that, bring your right hip around. You can keep your hand here, reach it up, or over your ear. One more breath. And then release your right hand to the ground. Tuck your right toes and step your right foot outside your right hand. Sit down into Yogi Squat. And then again, root down into every piece of your foot to flick your tail. Big toe ball mounds to widen your sit bones. Give your lungs some space. And then rise up, inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart, scoot your feet back to hips with distance. Grab your elbows in front of you. And then open your window, stretch your elbows up. Inhale, up and over to the right. Exhale, center. Inhale, left. Exhale, center. Good, inhale, up and back. Bend your knees down into chair pose, lift your navel. And then fold in half. And inhale, lengthen your spine. Step your right foot back. Plant your hands, reach your left leg up and back behind you. And then hug your left knee to your nose. Lower your left shin to the ground, look forward. And then exhale, engage, draw everything in and up. And then lower the shin, look forward. Exhale, draw it in and up. 3 more. Keep your shoulders stacked over your wrists. Activate those deep, deep belly muscles, transverse abdominal muscles. The last one. And then sweep your left leg back, stack your hip, bend your knee. Big circles. In the other direction. And then plant your left foot down, downward facing dog. Shift forward into plank. Find your measure. Back to down dog, bend your knees. From your bend in your knees, reach up through your sit bones. Back through your heels. Then look forward. Lunge your right foot forward. Good, this time keep your back leg lifted. Find your frame again. Look forward, knee and armpit. Exhale, reach your hips back, but keep this contact. Inhale, bend the knee, look forward. Exhale, reach it back. 3 more. Bend your right knee. Look forward first and peel yourself up, high lunge. And so find all these different polarities. The normal one, the runner polarity of forward through your right knee, kick back through your left heel. Then go down through your pelvic floor and up through the crown of your head. And then go left through your left hip and right through your right hip. So you're mediating all these opposites, you in the middle, triangulating. Take 1 more breath, and then release your hands to the ground. Plant your left hand. We'll move this with the breath. So inhale to open up your right arm. And then exhale to bring it back down. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, bring it down. 3 more. Expand, get big, get full. Exhale, close. Good, keep your right hand down. Spin your left heel to the ground. So the same pose, side angle, with a different rudder, a different anchor back there. Put your right hand inside of your foot. Bend your right knee so it's at 90, stacked right over your heel. Left hand to your sacrum, look forward. And then you start to turn. But not with your hips, with your spine, with your right knee and your shoulder. And maybe your left arm reaches up, maybe it reaches over your head. Good, one more breath here. And then release your hands to the ground and walk them to the long edge of your mat. Good, turn your toes in slightly, so you're slightly pigeon-toed. Bend your knees. Bend your knees deeply like a sumo wrestler and walk your arms forward. And then walk your hands in. They're right under your shoulders. And then you can bend one knee and then the other. Keep the sole of your foot on the ground. And just travel from left to right into the inner groin and the outer hip. And the next time your left knee is bent, stay there, skater pose. You're going to really bend your left knee. Stay on your fingertips and pull your lungs forward. And you might stay like that or reach your arms wide and root into both feet. And then bring your hands to the ground. You'll spin your left heel in and sit down into Skandasana. I recommend a block under the knee here so that you don't slam it out. We don't want to slam it out. We want to keep currency flowing through the leg. So a little bend so that your knee points up and your toes point up. It might be a big bend. You can keep your hands down. You can balance here. Hug your heels toward one another. So you get this lightness, this lift, buoyancy. And then with or without your hands, we'll find goddess pose. Woo, put your hands on your thighs. So your toes are facing out, heels right under your knees. And then stack yourself. Pelvic floor, diaphragm, heart, upper palate, crown of your head, a spit. Reach your arms up. Good, stand up, hands to your hips, turn your toes back in. Lengthen your spine, look up. And then exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your hips, fold in half. You can put your hands on the ground, relax your head. Keep your knees bent and feel all those points of contact in your feet from the center of the heel of your foot, forward to the big toe ball mound, around to the outer edge of your foot, and up to the pinky toe ball mound. To the middle of your foot, lift up, the inner heel root down. Travel forward through your arch and around to the pinky heel. And then out the middle toe knuckle. Another breath in. And out. And then lift yourself halfway. Bring your hands to your hips. Rise up. Okay, you're going to spin on your right heel. Turn your right toes forward. Bend your right knee, warrior two. Reach your arms long. Inhale, revolve. Reach it up and back. Breathe into the right side. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down, step it back to plank pose. Good, from your plank pose, take a full breath in, and then blow it all out through your mouth. Inhale. One more, feel your belly light up. Hold the breath out, lower to the ground. Then breathe in, and out. Reach your arms alongside you, palms face up, down. Inhale, lift your chest, head, and legs. And then lift your arms. Stay like this or interlock your fingers and pull your lungs away from your hips. Pull your navel up towards your lungs to help you do that. Lengthen the back of your neck, but keep looking forward. Take another breath. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Plant your hands, tuck your toes, lift your navel, plank pose. Down dog, bend your knees. Gonna take a full breath in. Full breath out. And then step your left foot forward. Long lunge. Widen your hands so your knee fits in your armpit. Look forward. And then lift your hips up and back. Inhale, bend the knee, look forward. Exhale, lift it back. Keep the contact as you move. So we set a boundary and then we hold a boundary. That is discipline. Setting and holding the boundary. And when you lose the boundary, you set it back up and try again. One more. And then bend your left knee. Look forward first. You can flick your tail and rise up. And then find that mediation. You in the middle of your knee bending forward and your heel kicking back. You in the middle of your pelvic floor plugging in and your crown reaching up. You in the middle of your right hip steering to the right and your left hip steering to the left. You in the middle of your circumstances. Take one more breath. And then release your hands to the ground. Plant your right hand. Inhale, open your left arm up. Flick your tail. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, open it up. Flick your tail. Exhale, lower it down. 3 more. Add your vision. See your hand. Good, and then spin your right heel to the ground. Plant your left hand inside of your foot. Bring your right hand to your sacrum and flick your tail up to find your back bend. Use your left knee to help you twist. Keep wrapping your right hip around to the right. So you stay 3-dimensional. You don't want to be a pane of glass. We want to be a bouncy sphere. So that when we drop, we don't break. When we drop, we bounce back up. Good, one more breath. Bring your hands to the ground. Walk back to the long edge of your mat. Adjust your feet so they're in the same line. Turn your heels out slightly. Bend your knees. Walk your hands forward. And then scoot your hands closer. Again, bend one knee and then the other. Just traverse from left to right. Stay low. And then the next time you're over at the right, stay there for skater pose. Bend your right knee, flick your left tailbone up. Pull your lungs forward. Stay like this, really in your hip crease. Widen your arms like wings. And then release your hands to the ground. Spin your right heel in. Lower down for Skandasana. Turn on your left heel up. Again, a block at any height or some type of support so you keep your leg honest in its socket. And then you can balance here. Hug your heels toward one another. So you're buoyant, you're bouncy. And then when you're ready, goddess pose. Hands to your thighs. And then we'll stack. Pelvic floor, diaphragm, heart, upper palate, crown of your head. Open your arms. Good. Hands to your hips, straighten your legs, turn your toes in. Good, bend your knees, fold halfway. So your toes are now facing forward or in. Bring your hands to your heart here. It's like a really wide yogi squat. Press your elbows out into your knees, pull your lungs forward. And then release, fold in half. And this time sway. Sway between your legs. You can do it with your hands on the ground as if they were moving through wet sand at the beach. Or maybe you grab opposite elbows and you organically start to make this little figure 8 shape around and between your two legs. The infinity sign, the symbol of repetition, the symbol of insight, the symbol of always coming back to the middle, to the center, and then going out and coming back. Good, and then come to stillness. If that hurt at all, bend your knees more next time. Walk your hands back to the top of the mat. Step it back to plank pose. Take a full breath in, out through your mouth, like you were blowing out a birthday cake. Inhale. One more. Hold the breath out, lower down. Once you're down, breathe in. Reach your arms beside you. Lift your chest, lift your head, lift your legs, lift your arms. Again, you can interlock into Locust Pose. Lift your navel up away from your pelvis. Lift your navel up toward your sternum to help you pull your lungs out of your hips. Bring your lungs to the front of your body. One more breath. And release it all down. Bring your hands to the ground. Fire up your belly, tuck your toes, plank pose. Back to downward facing. And look forward and lunge your right foot forward. Lower your left knee to the ground. And we'll take a twist here. So take your left arm over your right thigh. Get as close to your knee as possible and as close to your armpit as possible so that we keep the spine long. Bring your right hand to your sacrum and flick your tail up. And you can stay like this. You can split your arms, left hand down, right arm up. You can make prayer hands or make a fist with your left hand, wrap around with your right hand and push and pull at the same time. So what we want is a back bend. We want to get forward. And we do that by first flicking the tail. If you get round, you're not going to go anywhere. So let's go somewhere. Open it up. Open up the field of potential in front of you. And then release your hands to the ground. Reconnect yourself knee to your armpit and shift it back for half split. And we'll stay right here, but use our props to open up some fascia across the back of the leg, or the fascia, not some fascia. So if you have blocks, put them under your hands. Otherwise, get something about this height to have under your hands. You're going to bend your right knee and keep it bent as you tick-tock your leg in and out. So the idea here is that it's the leg rotating in and out in the hip socket. If you notice that your whole hip is moving, try to wrangle it in so it's just the leg moving. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Keep reaching your lungs forward so you have a little back bend. And then come to stillness. Take yourself on a walk to the left. So if in front of you is 12, move yourself over to 10, but not too far away. because we want to keep flicking the tail and bending the right knee. And then try not to move the hip, just move the leg in the hip socket. And you'll notice that this is harder or different in some type of way. Might be easier to go in, might be easier to go out. And then press pause. This is the doozy. Walk your hands over to the right, not too far away. Bend your knee. And again, out, in, out, in. And here, for me, it's easier to go out, so can I really fight to go in? But not with the hip, with the leg. Okay, and then come back to center. Reframe your legs. You're going to shift forward onto the ball or onto the whole sole of the right foot. Tuck your left toes, lift your knee, and then from the back of your knee, just like in down dog, reach your right sit bone up. Keep all the contact, so your knee will not be straight. It will be as bent as you need it to keep contact. Keep your left heel really high so your left butt is buoyant. Bring your left butt over to its own side. Keep pressing down and forward through the ball of the right foot. Bend your right knee as you lift the right sit bone up. And then bend your right knee, plant your hands, step it back to plank. And then from there, press it back to down dog. Bend your right knee, reach your left leg up. Start to walk your hands toward your right foot until your foot flattens. Then bend your right knee, tent up onto your fingertips, point through your left toes, and pull your lungs forward. And then lower your left foot to meet your right foot. Walk your hands back forward into a plank pose, and then back to downward facing dog. And from your down dog, bend your knees, stretch your sit bones up, and then lunge your left foot forward. Lower your right knee down, and then use your left hand to help you get your right arm across your left knee. So get as high up to your knee, as high up to your armpit as you can so your spine stays long. Bring your left hand to your sacrum and flick your tail up. Keep that work the whole time. If you lose it, find it again. Maybe you split your hands or make your right hand into a fist, wrap your left hand around it, and then pull yourself forward off of your own hips or out of your own hips. Keep back bending, flick your tail. One more breath. And then release your arms to the ground. Reframe yourself. And then shift it back into half split. So your right hip is directly over your knee. And then you can grab the blocks just to prop yourself up a little higher. Bend your left knee, flick your tail behind you, and then start to tick-tock your left leg in and out. We're opening up the field of potential that is your hamstring. That juicy, fleshy part of your thigh. Rolling that femur bone around in your hip socket. And then press pause. Just walk your hands over toward 2. Keep your shoulders over your wrists. Bend your left knee. And keep tick-tocking in and out. And notice what's easy, what's hard. Where can you put forth effort? Where can you let go of some effort? So this work is helping to break up some fascial adhesions in the back of your thigh. That fascial net that drapes over every organ, every muscle of our body. It holds so much tension, trauma, injury. Set it free. Come to stillness. Walk your hands to the left towards 10 o'clock. Keep that left knee bent. And then go in and out with the thigh and really fight up for the in. And then come to stillness, come back to center, frame yourself up, bend your left knee to step into your left foot. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. You're going to keep your right heel really high. And then from the back of your left knee, reach your left sit bone up. Stay close to yourself. Push the left ball of your foot forward. Bend your left knee up. And reach your left sit bone up and back. And as you reach the right heel up, wrap your right hip around. And then from your left knee, plug into your foot and lift up to your sit bone. And from your right foot, wrap your right sit bone around. One more breath. And then bend your left knee. Step it back to down dog. Reach your right leg up. Walk your hands back until your left foot flattens. Bend your left knee, tent up on your fingertips, and reach your left sit bone up and your right toes up. And then put your right foot down to meet your left foot. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. 2 fists between your arches. Bend your knees a lot. Grab your elbows. And sway left and right. And then come to stillness. Widen your feet so they're Yogi Squat, distance apart. You might even scoot up so you're in the middle of your mat and sit down into Yogi Squat. Again, flick your tail. Pull your heart through. Okay, and then we'll sit down. Roll all the way onto your back and find happy baby pose one more time. Pull down with your feet, pull down with your hands, push up with your feet, and try to get the contact of your knees and your armpits. And then release your legs onto the ground, put your feet on the ground, knock your knees together, and then open your arms up over your head, let them be soft. And just take a few moments to let go of all of that effort. Imagine yourself as a chalice ready to receive all of the benefits, the gifts, the fruits of your hard work, of your effort, of your labor. Part of the repetition, the infinity, is going out and doing it no matter what. Stepping out into the world to do what you said you were going to do, no matter what. But also knowing when it's time to put on the brakes. Feel free to stay here for as long as you like. Or maybe you give yourself a count. I will be here for 30 breaths, or I'll be here for 10 more breaths. And you can pull yourself back together and go on with your day.